reported last week, I believe it was, that Joshua Witt, who you can see here in this photo, who made a complaint that he was stabbed because someone in the place where he was, his story was that they went up to him and told him he was looked like a Nazi, and so they stabbed him. You may have seen the graphic photo that he uploaded of himself. So there he is, Joshua Witt. Next is the graphic photo that he showed. Lols, apparently I look like a neo-Nazi, so I get stabbed at. According to a report, Witt had originally said that on August 16, he was exiting his car outside a Steak and Shake restaurant when someone approached him and asked if he was a neo-Nazi and went to stab him. He claimed he was slashed on the hand when shielding himself, and the suspect ran away. Now, the police found some problems with his stories. They found someone that fit the description of his quote assailant, but they had doubts that that was actually someone who participated in any incident. They also couldn't find video of the incident he mentioned. However, according to the report, police turned up video from a nearby sporting goods store, which depicted Witt buying a knife. Officials said investigators asked him about this on Thursday, and he admitted that he cut himself by mistake while in his parked car in front of the store, the statement said. So there you go, there's your update.
I don't understand how he cut himself in a parked car. Like he wasn't chopping onions or something.
Yeah, no. So first of all, let me just say that I reported on this story when I probably should not have. So my bad there, guys, and I want to let you know. And the reason I say that is I was reporting what others were reporting, and I believe, let me leave out the name of the publication that we mainly relied on there. But that's what the police reports were, so it's not their fault, it's not necessarily my fault. Except for the fact that in the production meeting, we did have a discussion about this story, and some of the other folks in the meeting said, this doesn't look right? Let's hold off on this. But one of the reasons I did it is because if it was really a leftist who was attacking a guy because he thought he looked like a Nazi, I don't want to downplay leftist violence. And there's some today from Antifa at Berkeley, and it drives me crazy, and it is just as morally repugnant. Yes, the other side, it has fascists and Nazis. That doesn't mean we should sink to their level. It means we should fight back with every ounce of our energy politically and morally in every way, shape, and possible. And I'm not one to go soft, but violence is a terrible idea. It's a moral idea, it's counterproductive. That's why I can't cover that story when it appeared that it was someone who was attacking someone who's right wing. But the rest of the team was right that there was something fishy about that story. And every once in a while, and in this case, it wasn't covered by right wing sites. It was covered by mainstream news sites, okay? But every once in a while, the right wing will get a story and they'll go nuts over it. Oh, well, how come the press isn't covering this, and this is amazing, and this is outrageous? And then you'll find out, no, it was not at all. And so in this case, I think it's just one particular dude who was looking for attention. Look, we don't know with 100% certainty. We know the facts that Brett just gave you. But like Anna said, it doesn't look like he was chopping onions in his car. He went and bought a knife right beforehand, that we do know. It seems like he cut himself to get attention.
Well, there's multiple ways to interpret the events. One is that he went and was like, oh, before I get my Steak and Shake, let's make up a crazy story and play it out. So he goes and he gets it, cuts his hand, does the photo, and it's a nefarious thing. The other one is he accidentally cut himself, and then afterwards he posts this thing he thought was funny, like now I'm a Nazi, but then he runs with it. Either way, I think the takeaway is violence isn't good. And whether this was the right story to report on or not, or it was reported too early or too late, I think the concern that violence undercuts any claims towards some kind of moral authority is worth bringing up.
Right.
It's unfortunate that the facts of the case change from one day to another, but I think the priority being making sure that violence isn't something that we do because you lose authority after it is a good point to make.
Absolutely, I agree. And it's also an injustice that Steak and Shake doesn't exist in Los Angeles.
It does, it will.
It's soon.
Oh, awesome.
Steak and Shake, there's one in Torrance. There's also going to be one pretty soon at the Los Angeles International Airport.
Awesome.
So you don't have to cut yourself to get it.
You have to fly out of Terminal 3, I believe it is.
Yeah, but one other reason why that it was in the news and maybe that put it into this guy's head and made me cover the story was because we just done the story about how Macklemore had a quote unquote Nazi haircut. That's what people were accusing him of. he had no intention of cutting his hair that way. And by the way, ever since we did that story, I'm looking around in the streets. A lot of people have the same exact haircut. I don't think that's a Nazi haircut. That's what I was saying at the time. And Macklemore had changed his haircut anyway. So bring it down with the Nazi haircut nonsense, okay?
Yeah.
You know how you can tell somebody's a Nazi? If they're wearing or have a tattoo of a swastika, okay? Otherwise, don't make assumptions. And in the case of Joshua Witt, don't do any self-violence either and be a jackass and try to get attention, because sometimes the cops do good work, they find out, and then you go to jail. If you like this video, you probably like independent media. The best way to support independent media, become a member of the Young Turks. tytnetwork.com/join.